Welcome back to the Hopium Den. Let's get high. Alright, we're picking up episode 6, hopefully, um, with the Outpost phase. Starting off with some really exciting stuff. So, we finally got the hunting lodge built, so I can now get hide. And, let's see here. I do wish there was like a nice little back button, right? Like a little clunky. We'll make sure to buy our hide. And then let's go straight into the level ups. So Germinate, we hit a level. We get to pick from new cards. So the last time I played, I did go Venomous Barbs with Germinate because this top is pretty insane. If I disarm myself, it's a Retaliate 3 at range 3. But mainly for the bottom, because if you get this attack 2 poison off, that combos really well into the top double attack. It's now 2 attack 3s. Or, not to spoil anything too much, but it makes Thresh and Flail go crazy. A 5-4-3 if they're poisoned. So pretty insane there just in terms of scaling. The hardest part I found with Venomous Barbs is that it doesn't flip forms. So when I do this and the current attack 2 on the top that I have, sorry, I don't remember the name of the card, it doesn't change me form, so I'm stuck in another melee turn. This is, I just wish it was an attack 3. Which I know to hit 5 guys at attack 3 is a little broken. But if this were an attack 3, it would go absolutely crazy. And it would definitely be worth the early burn. Right now, as it is, pretty much the thing I'm going to use the most on this card is the fact it's a low initiative. Because in the range form, Germinate really struggles with initiative. Again, I wish there was a way to sort this for you. But pretty much Germinate's fastest range initiative is 30. Right here, it does have an 18 with Mind Spike, but I always try and save that for the bottom attack, which has to be at certain ranges. But this, because it attacks and flips form, is very powerful. So that's kind of Germinate's hold up in the range form. I think because last time I went melee and retaliate because I was more of our team's tank / off tank, I kind of want to focus a little bit more on the range build and just see what we can work here. And I do think the movement with the push will actually be pretty handy in this comp because I have very limited push-pull. Kind of what I'm thinking. But let me plan ahead here a second. So I really like the Dragonfly Surge for the bottom. Mandible Storm's pretty good, but I hate that it immobilizes myself. Or, sorry, muddles myself for the next turn, but Mandible does change me form. The bottom here is really good, but again, it's a burn, so you just got to keep an eye on that. I mean, Thresh and Flail is amazing between the pull into another attack and then the monster attack. Yes, I could go more of a support role, but this is going to be a melee choice and level 5. Level 5, I don't hate the strengthen. So all adjacent enemies suffer 2, so a nice pure damage. And then once during each of your turns, damage a friendly to generate an element. This is probably my only way I'm going to get consistent element generation, because my team doesn't really make enough elements for me to continually flip. So I think I talked myself into the Locust Host. I think the push might have some utility. Push 2, target all, only at range 2. But if we're targeting them at range 2 with a push 2, we're getting them in 3 to 4. So this actually should help set up other attacks in the range form. It's a tough choice here. It's a tough choice. I think last time at level 5 I circled back and grabbed the opposite level 2 card. But because we have such strong melee attackers, I'm going to pick Locust Host. And then Banner, I've never seen your level 2 card. What do we got? Essentially a better pincer with a move heal. Or a better move our team. So this becomes a range 4 with immobilize. And then for each friendly by the target way up there, it does huge damage. I actually kind of like pinning charge because as I grant allies movement for things like opening the door, Banner always seems to get stuck in the back. But this is a really strong AoE, and I do really like the move, heal, regen for the sake of kind of keeping more of a support role for the team. You could definitely go either way here. I think in this comp, the bottom here is almost more important than the AoE. And as good as the pinning charge is, would I rather use my 1 wind for an immobilize or for my 15 initiative melee attack at advantage? Right now, that melee attack at advantage. Target all in blank. Okay. That's not bad. Banner of Courage, shield. And then this, we will probably go... I mean, that's a pretty crazy pincer. But the move and muddle at late is really initiative, and it generates wind. So there definitely is a way to keep generating wind and doing more. But for now, I think I just want that heal. And air support solid too. Boldening blow. How many times am I going to tell you guys that it gives me an extra movement at the end of that? Alright, let's go meat grinder. I like the utility that not only is it an attack, it's a heal. Perk-wise, let's keep cleaning this up. I don't hate the shield one, but mainly we're just thinning out the deck with the negative ones. This isn't bad because most of the time someone else is in melee range, but I kind of think the utility of being able to open the door is really nice. I wish those were heal allies. The push isn't bad. Oh, the +1 disarm's pretty solid. Interesting, so give more people movement. I'm going to take my own movement to open a door. Because as we have learned the hard way, doors get sketchy in a hurry. And then we got our perk here. We're almost at another one. So this is really good, but in terms of like not taking a muddle or that poison wound combo. But I have the... Oh, not helmet. That's not the right term. But I have the like crown to heal off the poison and muddle. Frost effects are good to ignore because they really harm Germinate. Regen solid. So I call this the criddle because you're getting that ×2, but you make yourself brittle. This in a range build actually probably is really solid. I loved it when I had it. I did end up taking Unstable Equilibrium because it's really nice to kind of adjust your lost cards. But I do think every once in a while my party comp struggles. This I found super underwhelming, other than it just cleans up -1s in the deck. Which is not a bad thing, but for the most part, there's not a ton of elements out there. Still kind of struggle with consistent Pierce. Like, all these characters basically have one Pierce card. He's got the attack 3 with Pierce 2. Banner's got the Javelin Spear, or not Javelin, but the Spear with Pierce 2. And Germinate doesn't really have any Pierce. So the wound is really solid, but I do think because I'm getting off so many little attacks, it's also not bad just to make my deck more consistent by getting rid of -1s. I'm going to at least take this for now, I think. The crittle's great, but pretty high risk right now. And then immunity's good if you get it early. Maybe I just go immunity. Leave the deck alone. I got my -2 out at least, and it's nice to ignore brittle wound, etc. Nah. Alright. Let's make our final decision. Let's keep getting rid of -1s. And maybe I can use the elements. Probably not, because there probably won't be ones out there. But less -1s is always a good choice. And then we need to go to our hand management, and let's figure out what we're doing. This mission, we're going to go back and get ourselves out of the avalanche. So, we're going to need kind of longevity reusable cards. This is clutch here to heal off a brittle. The pincer is hard to set up, but when you do, it's very, very satisfying. The wall's pretty good because of the snowbanks. Tip of the spear is honestly, it's good, but it's not the easiest to set up. Honestly, it's probably just getting rid of incendiary throw. Like, the wound's good, but I probably should just prioritize like trying to set up tip of the spear and actually doing big damage to imps. But if I'm really honest with myself, I'm going to have a hard time setting up double pincer movements, I think. Because that means banner's completely isolated up front. So I probably need to get rid of one of those two. The move loot is nice, but it's only a move 1. And the pincer here is good, but not ideal. And I do have my jump boots, so having the jump move 3 puts me in a lot easier position to pull off a meat grinder. Now granted, you could say, Tyler, if you already jump into the back line, you take it for a turn, you could get off the pincer early next turn. And I would agree with you, but this bottom is still probably my best movement and utility to keep banners moving. And planning ahead for that third room, I'm gonna need ways to kind of burst into it, not try and jump to the far side. So I think that's gonna be banner set. The only thing you could debate would be getting rid of incendiary throw. I really like the thought of it, but to waste an attack that does maybe 1 damage to an imp and then gets wound on, like they're still alive for 2 turns. They're low enough health, I'd rather just kill them, and the wound doesn't affect the snow piles. And the torchbearer is good, but again, the wound doesn't affect the torch or the snow piles. So I have to like jump to the back lines and drop torchbearer, which I guess is possible, but it's only surviving 3 turns anyway, and it's really not doing damage, it's more doing wound. So I mean, there is a world where like I jump to the back lines late, get off a big attack, the next turn drop the torchbearer behind their lines to keep moving forward. But the problem is going to be initiatives. When you drop a summon at an early initiative, then they're not going to do anything. It's just going to get multi-attacked that turn. So I like the concept of this card, but I'll try and keep this. That way banner can be more aggressive. Alright, we do want our last 2 card here. And I'm going to change up the cards a little bit, knowing what we're going in for. We want Shockwave. What are we getting rid of for Shockwave? Could get rid of our bottom heal. I did kind of miss this card just because it's my only move 4. Man, I'm going to have to think about this a little bit. That's a tough one. Alright, Germinate. We need to take our level 2 card because that's a nicer AoE to try and clear a whole area. I really think we can get rid of the AoE that muddles, because I'm not going to jump in the back lines into a bunch of imps and use it, but the problem is this is a move 3 in range, and I don't have movement to make up for that. Here it is. So we gave up a move 3 in range for a move 1, which you're like, oh, that doesn't sound too bad. It makes a pretty big difference for Germinate. I'm not going to lie. That's going to make it pretty dicey. Let's see here. Any other card changes I need to make for this one? I need the AoE. I mean, the pure damage isn't bad, but again, no movement on it, so it's kind of hard. Channeling I find a little underwhelming, but we're going to keep it for now. If I would have taken the poison card, then channeling gets significantly better. So I think that's there. In Drifter, I need to figure out what I'm doing. I want this AoE for the 2nd or 3rd room. I think it's probably get rid of the heal. Actually, I think I would rather keep the bottom heal, because then I can still get off an attack. Versus this, I use my whole turn pretty much. So I'm going to take away No Remorse right now. And then I'm going to put on... I mean, there is an argument to do a full-out ranged attacking build. I get an extra range and an extra damage, so on imps, like, I'm doing lots of attack 2s. If I flip an attack 1, all of a sudden that's an attack 3, and I'm doing it on 3 people at range 3 with a muddle. Like, there's an argument to going all-out kind of range attacking. This lets me get one, like, regen something back. That's an attack 3 at 3, an attack 2 at 5 with poison. We could go a little bit more of, like, a range damage build. Or we just shockwave. And keep passing things. I mean, I for sure want shockwave. Because in the second or third room, I'm probably proccing that. But I think maybe... for the first few rooms, I will try and focus a little bit more range. The other thing that I could do would be to get up the persistent shield, because I know they're brittling, but the constant shield 1 pretty much makes their first attacks useless. Versus right now, the 3 persistents I'm thinking of getting out are all tops, which makes it pretty difficult to pop all 3. And the thing is, this bottom is really nice to keep a persistent going. Tough choices. Tough choices. Well, I think I'm going to debate this at work today, and I will finalize our card selection here, knowing the mission we're going in, and then we are going to go dig ourselves out of the avalanche. So, we will be back and try and redeem ourselves here.